Imagine saving up, I don't know, like $10,000.
Yeah.
And you've perfectly formulated this natural anti-aging cream.
Right. Yeah.
You've paid for gorgeous minimalist packaging. You've finally launched your brand.
It's the dream.
Yeah, exactly. The dream. But then you wake up on day 3 to find your payment processors are completely frozen.
Oh, wow.
And there's a federal recall notice sitting in your inbox.
Ouch.
And it's not because your formula was dangerous.
Right.
It's not because you scammed anyone or anything like that.
Yeah.
It is simply because you used the word heels on your storefront page.
Yeah, that is the reality of the beauty industry. And it's a massive shock to the system for most new founders.
I'd be terrified.
Oh, absolutely. Because people picture this, the sunlit studio where they're picking out color palettes, designing a logo, maybe planning a beautifully styled photo shoot for their first Instagram drop.
Very aesthetic.
Exactly. It feels entirely driven by aesthetics. But legal paperwork and compliance are actually completely upstream of those aesthetics. Upstream. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you are picking out Shopify themes and logos before you've locked down your regulatory strategy, you are essentially building a house on quicksand.
And that is exactly our mission for this deep dive.
Right.
We are going to equip you, the listener, with the exact regulatory traps, the real-world manufacturing costs, and the specific storefront strategies you absolutely must navigate.
Before you pay anyone.
Yes, before you hand over a single dollar to a beauty manufacturer.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I want to start with what has to be the most expensive mistake a new founder can make.
The product copy.
The product copy, yes.
So founders often assume that their e-commerce platform is the ultimate gatekeeper.
Right, like if Shopify allows it, I'm good.
Exactly. They scour the acceptable use policy, looking for some hidden ban on cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the landscape in August 2026, Shopify doesn't inherently ban cosmetics.
The real gatekeepers, the ones who can pull your product off the market or freeze your business entirely, are the FDA in the US and the regulatory bodies in the EU.
And the FDA has a very specific, almost literal way of looking at the world, right?
Very literal.
Like they sort cosmetics from drugs based entirely on one single thing, which is intended use.
Right. The federal government doesn't just look at what is physically inside the bottle.
Okay.
They look at what you claim the bottle does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a single word on your label or your website or even your social media can completely change your legal reality.
Without changing the formula.
Without a single molecule of the actual formula changing.
I was looking at some examples of this in the research, and the mechanism behind it genuinely blew my mind.
It's wild.
Let's take a basic shampoo.
Okay.
If your label says it cleanses the hair, or I guess scents the hair,
right.
Congratulations, you have cosmetic.
Simple enough.
The regulatory hurdle is relatively standard for that.
Yeah.
But if you take that exact same shampoo, you don't change the ingredients at all.
Not one drop.
Not a drop. And you just add the phrase treats dandruff to the label.
Yeah.
Boom. You are now legally selling both a cosmetic and a drug.
Exactly. And it gets even trickier with daily skincare.
Yeah.
Like if a cream moisturizes, it's a cosmetic.
Makes sense.
But the second you claim it protects from the sun, or even if you just include the letters SPF anywhere on it.
It's really just the letters.
Just the letters SPF, it is heavily regulated as a drug.
Oh, man.
And take deodorant. Deodorant is a cosmetic because it just masks odor.
Right.
But if you say it stops perspiration and market it as an antiperspirant, you've just triggered drug status.
That is wild.
Because the mechanism of action that you claim is what triggers an entirely different set of federal regulations.
Which means what?
Which means years of testing and massive capital requirements.
Hold on, I have to push back here.
Okay.
Because that doesn't track with the massive trend we see literally everywhere right now.
The clean beauty stuff.
Yes. Every other brand claims to be clean or natural, or they use that fancy term, cosmeceutical.
Right.
So if I am literally just crushing up beetroots and putting them in a little jar for a lip tint,
okay,
there's no way the FDA treats that the same as some synthetic chemical created in a lab, right?
You'd think so.
I mean, it's just vegetables.
Yeah.
Doesn't natural give you some kind of regulatory shortcut?
I hear that assumption all the time from new founders.
It makes sense logically.
It does. But what's fascinating here is that The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act does not even recognize the word cosmeceutical.
Wait, it's not a real legal term.
It has zero legal standing.
Wow.
And clean or natural, those are just marketing lanes.
Okay.
They offer zero legal shelter. The FDA only cares about the specific use of the additive, not its origin story.
So the federal government doesn't care if my pink blush gets its color from a crushed flower or a chemical laboratory.
They really don't. Color additives are actually the one part of a U.S. cosmetic that the FDA approves in advance. And that approval is strictly use-specific.
Meaning what exactly?
Meaning a natural botanical pigment requires the exact same strict pre-market FDA approval for its specific use, say for application around the eyes, as a synthetic color additive.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so clean marketing does not grant you a free pass to skip the chemistry paperwork.
Okay, so if the FDA is treating my everyday lotion like a drug just because of a single word on the label,
Right.
who exactly gets in trouble if I mess that up?
That's the big question.
Right, like is the FDA knocking on my door or are they going to the factory's door?
Whoa.
We have to transition from what the product is to who is actually responsible for it.
And this brings us to one of the biggest, most dangerous misconceptions in the entire industry.
Which is?
Founders often assume they are shielded because they are using a massive, reputable contract manufacturer.
Because they figure the factory has lawyers.
Exactly. They think the factory handles all the compliance.
It's like slapping your name on a group project where you didn't do any of the research.
Yeah.
And you just figure, hey, the smart kid did the work, so I'm covered.
Right.
But if the teacher finds a massive error,
Yeah.
you're the one whose name's on the cover page. You're the one who gets expelled.
That is the perfect way to look at it. Because under the Modernization of Cosmetics Regulation Act of 2022,
Which the industry calls MOSRA, right?
yes, MOSRA, those legal duties are strictly split.
Okay.
The factory, the physical place, mixing the chemicals and filling the bottles.
Yeah.
They own the facility registration, and they have to renew that every 2 years.
Okay, so they do have some paperwork.
They do. But then there is a distinct legal concept called the responsible person.
And according to the FDA, the responsible person is defined quite simply as whoever's name is printed on the label.
Yep. So in private labeling, where you just buy a factory's stock formula but put your beautiful new brand logo on it.
The founder is the responsible person.
Exactly. The brand founder is the responsible person, not the factory.
Wow.
That means you, the founder sitting in your home office, own the product listing.
You personally.
Yes. You must hold the safety substantiation records.
Okay.
And crucially, you are the one on the hook for the 15 business day clock for reporting serious adverse events to the FDA.
15 business days. Wait, so if a customer has a severe allergic reaction and ends up in the hospital,
The clock starts ticking for you.
not the manufacturer.
Not the manufacturer, it's on you.
But surely the FDA isn't hunting down tiny Shopify stores launching out of a guest bedroom.
You'd be surprised.
Because I saw in the updated regulations, they detail a $1 million small business exemption.
Yes, the exemption.
Right, so if my average U.S. sales over the last 3 years are under $1 million, I'm insulated from all this heavy make-car stuff, right?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, relying on that revenue exemption is incredibly dangerous.
Why? $1 million is a lot of leeway.
Because of the hidden product side trap.
Okay.
The exemption vanishes instantly, regardless of how little revenue you make, if you sell 4 specific classes of products.
Okay, what are they?
Products injected into the body.
Sure, that makes sense.
Products for internal use.
Okay, obviously.
Products that alter appearance for more than 24 hours without the consumer removing them. So think like long-wear dyes or certain heavy adhesives.
Got it. And the fourth?
And most commonly for new brands, eye area products.
Wait, so if I launch a basic body moisturizer, I might be exempt,
Probably, yes.
but I launch a mascara or like an eyeliner, the exemption is totally gone,
Completely gone.
even if I only made $10 last year.
Yes. Because the mucous membrane of the eye is considered an incredibly high-risk area for infection and injury.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you sell mascara, you must comply with standard registration and listing requirements from day one.
Wow.
And further, the small business exemption never covers safety substantiation or adverse event reporting.
Even if I'm under the $1 million.
Even if you sell $0 lip balms, if someone has a severe reaction, you are legally required to have the safety records on file and report the event. Revenue does not buy you a pass on consumer safety.
Wow. Okay, so our domestic legal baseline is set.
Right.
The founder is the responsible person.
Yes.
The label copy dictates the legal category.
Right, exactly.
And the safety records must be on hand.
You got it.
Naturally, a lot of founders, once they get this sorted, they immediately want to scale globally.
Of course they do.
Right. So they jump into the Shopify settings, toggle international shipping to IN, and they think they're ready to capture European customers.
That is a massive roadblock waiting to happen.
Really? Just clicking the button.
Yeah. The EU does not play by FDA rules at all.
Okay.
Article 4 of the EU Cosmetics Regulation clearly states a product cannot be placed on the market without a designated EU responsible person established within the Union.
So you need someone physically there,
Yes.
and you have to file a CPMP, right? That's a Cosmetic Products Notification Portal notification before the sale,
Before,
not after.
not after you get your first order from Paris and try to figure out customs.
Right.
And this is a specific cosmetics responsible person, which is very different from the general goods responsible person you might use for selling, I don't know, a t-shirt or a coffee mug in Europe.
Oh, okay.
You need a dedicated point of contact, physically located in the EU, holding a massive product information file for your formula.
Just sitting in a file cabinet somewhere over there.
Exactly. And they have to keep that file updated and accessible for 10 years after the last batch is sold.
10 years. That is wild.
Yeah.
And it gets even more restrictive mechanically. You'd think Shopify's own managed market system would handle this cross-border friction.
You would think so.
But looking at their August 2026 documentation, they actively restrict basic beauty items.
Yeah, that they do.
We aren't just talking about hazardous materials or aerosols here. Shopify restricts shipping everyday items like soap, shampoos, lotions, and moisturizers to regions like Mexico, Spain, Italy, and Greece.
Because the e-commerce platforms know that customs in Spain or Italy will just seize a random box of lotion if the CPNP isn't tied to it.
Oh, so they're trying to prevent the headache.
Exactly. So your global domination plan might be halted by your own storefront's freight rules before customs even gets involved.
Wow.
They block the friction upstream to protect the merchant network.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the very first purchase order?
Right.
Let's say I've got my head around the rules, I know I'm the responsible person, and I'm ready to talk to a manufacturer.
Okay.
How do I not get ripped off or put myself in legal jeopardy before the product is even made?
You need to demand specific things in writing before you pay a single cent of a deposit.
Okay, what are the demands?
There are a few key demands that act as absolute lifesavers. First, lock down your claim wording before the formula.
Right, the wording.
Settle exactly what that label will say, because as we established earlier, that one sentence dictates if you are a drug or a cosmetic.
Upstream of the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly. Second, get the INCI list for every single SKU.
The international nomenclature of cosmetic ingredients, right?
Right. You will need this exact formatting for your packaging and your website.
Okay.
Third, confirm the safety of any color additives for the specific body part they will be used on.
Like the eye area stuff we talked about.
Right. And finally, you must agree on batch numbering in writing.
Oh, because of that 15-day adverse event clause.
Yes.
If someone gets a rash from my lotion and I have to report it to the FDA,
Yeah,
I need to know exactly which batch caused it.
exactly.
If the factory just ran 1,000 units and didn't batch number the run, I can't trace the contamination.
You'd be blind.
I'd have to recall every single unit I ever sold, and my business is finished.
Yeah, you are putting the physical infrastructure in place to protect yourself legally.
Right.
And getting this infrastructure actually isn't as wildly expensive as people think.
Yeah, I was looking at some recent manufacturing quotes to see what this actually costs a founder in reality.
Right. August 2026 pricing.
Yeah. Ameri Cosmetics, for instance. They charge around $450 for 120 pieces if you just use their stock formula and stock packaging.
Yeah, so you're basically buying wholesale just to test the waters.
Right. It's a very low barrier to entry for someone who just wants to learn the mechanics of selling.
It really is.
But if you want private label, where you get your brand name printed on their stock formula,
Yeah.
it jumps to about $2,500 for 500 pieces.
Still not terrible.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But if you want a bespoke, from-scratch OEM project where you dictate the ingredients and the performance,
Right.
you're looking at around $9,000 for 3,000 pieces.
Because those formulation costs for a bespoke project are heavily front-loaded.
What are you actually paying for there?
You are paying for stability testing, microbiology testing, and R&D before a single unit physically exists to be sold.
Okay, so let's say the physical product is compliant.
Okay,
It's manufactured. It's sitting in a warehouse somewhere, properly batched and labeled.
ready to go.
Now we finally get to the fun part. The digital aesthetics.
Yes.
How do you build a Shopify storefront that actually sells this stuff without accidentally breaking all those rules we just spent time dissecting?
Storefront tech in the beauty industry is actually a regulatory solution, not just a design choice.
A regulatory solution. How so?
Well, look at the themes. Out of the 130 beauty themes available on Shopify right now,
Right.
3 specific presets are constantly highlighted: Soothe, Sillage, and Greenly.
And I'm guessing it's not just because they look pretty.
No, it's because they inherently solve beauty-specific friction points.
Okay, like what?
Well, the psychology of the beauty buyer is highly specific.
Sure.
Take color choice. Standard e-commerce drop-down menus are totally useless for makeup.
Why?
If a shopper has to read the word crimson or sunset in a text drop-down list, they have no idea what that actually looks like on human skin.
Oh, see.
You need visual swatches.
So if your theme doesn't have it native, you have to use an app like GLO Color Swatch or something.
Exactly. The buyer needs to click a little circle of red to physically see the red lipstick.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Another massive hurdle is the ingredients list.
Oh, right, the INCI lists.
Yes. Under Monterey, you have to display those massive, legally required INCI lists.
And they are long.
Very long. If you just paste that massive block of Latin text onto your product page, it pushes the buy button so far below the fold that mobile users will scroll endlessly and just leave.
So you need a theme with tabbed ingredients.
Yes, to keep the page clean, the legal compliance intact, and the checkout highly accessible.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
You also need review apps that prioritize photos, right? Like Looks or Judge.me.
Absolutely.
Because in beauty, texture and finish simply do not survive a standard studio pack shot.
No, they don't.
Customers need to see the highlighter on a real cheekbone in terrible bathroom lighting to actually trust it.
Yeah, they need the real-world proof. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier how a single word can turn a cosmetic into a drug.
Right. The treats dandruff thing.
Exactly. So how do you prove a skincare product actually clears up skin without legally writing the words treats acne and triggering the FDA?
Oh, that is a great question. How do you do that?
This raises an important point. How do you show a product works without making a medical claim?
I have no idea.
The absolute genius of the digital storefront is the before and after image slider.
Oh, the interactive slider where you drag the little line across the photo?
Yeah, it is the most brilliant technical workaround in the industry.
That's a legal workaround.
It is the native way to visually prove a dramatic, undeniable result to the customer without writing a single sentence of text that accidentally triggers FDA drug status.
Oh my gosh, that is brilliant.
Right. The images do all the heavy lifting of the marketing, proving the efficacy, while your written copy stays perfectly compliant and boring.
Visual proof without regulatory peril. It's incredibly smart.
It really is.
And when you are structuring the whole store, the underlying logic is that you shouldn't just copy a brand because you like their vibes.
No, absolutely not.
You need to copy the HTML structure that actually matches your catalog depth.
Yes. The architecture of the site has to match the reality of the inventory.
So, for example, look at Roadskin.
Okay.
They run on Shopify, but they have a very small, tightly curated skincare catalog.
Right. Very few products.
So they use a hero product page structure. Massive images, very few variants, lots of negative space.
It's an editorial experience.
Exactly. But if you look at a brand like ColourPop,
Oh, yeah. ColourPop is totally different.
yeah, they have a massive shade count.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of variations of palettes and lips.
Right. A hero product page would collapse under that weight. The user would just be completely lost.
So they use deep swatch navigation.
Yes. They essentially use color swatches to do the heavy lifting that a search bar does on a normal website.
Right.
The user navigates by visual color families rather than typing out queries.
So you have to copy the architecture that fits your inventory volume, not just the mood board you put together on Pinterest.
Exactly. Pulling all of this together requires a real shift in perspective for a new founder.
It really does. So what does this all mean? If we summarize this journey, because we've covered a ton of ground here,
We really have.
the biggest takeaway is that the most valuable hour a founder will spend isn't picking out a Shopify theme
No.
or arguing over a hex code for a logo.
Right.
It is writing the single sentence that goes on the physical label,
That's it.
because that label is the ultimate compliance document.
Yes.
It decides your FDA status, It decides if you need an EU responsible person, and it decides your manufacturing obligations.
It literally dictates your entire reality.
Yeah.
And the most practical advice for executing this is to not wait until the factory delivers 3,000 physical units to see if your store actually works.
That'd be a very expensive test.
Exactly. Utilize the trial periods available.
Right.
Shopify frequently offers promotional trials. Like in August 2026, they had that $1 a month for the first few months offer.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Use that specific time while your factory sample round is still running to build just one single product page.
Just one.
Just one. Add the visual swatches, build the ingredient tabs, refine that one sentence of compliant copy, and test it with real people.
Build the digital engine while you wait for the physical parts to arrive?
Exactly.
It's a completely different way to look at launching a beauty brand, but it sounds like it's the only way to actually survive the reality of the industry.
It's the difference between a launch that scales and a launch that gets shut down on day 3.
Yeah.
And looking at all these strict rules about how a single word can change a cosmetic into a drug, it leaves me with one final thing for our listeners to think about.
Okay, lay it on us.
We've established that your legal reality is dictated by the exact words on your storefront and packaging.
Right.
But today, brands are increasingly putting their marketing on autopilot using AI.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. If an automated tool hallucinates and writes an Instagram caption claiming your daily moisturizer clinically heals skin,
Oh, my God.
does a rogue algorithm just reclassify your perfectly compliant cosmetic into an unapproved FDA drug overnight?
Wow.
It's a terrifying thought, and it's something to deeply consider before you hand the keys of your compliance over to the machine.